and somebody has slammed on a vehicle, her car has gone into the back, and that poor woman's ended up being induced, having a cesarean because there was damage to her pelvis.
The young lady involved.
If you're having to travel any distance with your rods, a good rod tube is obviously of paramount importance, particularly if you're passing through airports where they quite simply throw them about and it's very easy for your valuable rods to become damaged. This is a simple rod tube, quite cheap to make. Almost all the pieces necessary are available from one well-known hardware store with a national network, and it's quite cheap. So I'll just guide you through the various bits which you'll need and then talk you through how I put it all together to make a very, very strong rod tube and quite secure. You will need a length of 110mm land drain, plastic land drain. It comes in 3 metre lengths, and obviously you'll have to cut it according to the length you want. Bearing in mind, of course, that if you're travelling through airports, most airports will not allow rod tubes of anything longer than 6 feet, or about 187mm. You can stretch it a little bit if you've got a rod slightly longer than that, but if you stretch it any more, then you'll find yourself having to pay, or indeed they may not even allow it on the aircraft. So you also need 2 end caps. This is one, which is just a blank. This is the second one. It's a screwed inspection cap, and this screws onto the top like that. So you need one of those. Unfortunately, the end caps don't fit into the end of the pipe direct. They're the same diameter. So to fit the end caps onto the tube, you'll need a collar, one collar for each end. There you can see the 2 collars. You will also need 12 of these little bolts. They are 20mm long, M6, and they are called socket buttons. They have a hex for Allen key in the top, which makes them quite secure, but much more difficult to tamper with if somebody decides that they want to look inside the rod tube. So you need 12 of them. You'll need a couple of these pan repair washers holding the strap onto the tube for carrying purposes. Obviously you need some kind of strap for carrying. Very, very strong strap. Old car seat belts are pretty good if you can manage to get hold of them. They're very strong, rip proof, and of course very cheap. This is a 10cm 100mm bolt. Again, it's M6, and it has a cross head on one end and a wing nut on the other. You can buy them separately, of course. Again, quite cheap. Get them from your local hardware. And you'll also need a 130mm bolt, again cross head, and this time it has the same lock nut that's used on the socket buttons. If you don't have access to a specialist workshop, the easiest way to make a straight cut across this pipe is to put round some masking tape. Make sure that the ends meet tidily and that there are no folds in it, and in that way you can be pretty sure that the cut you make will be quite straight. Use a stiff bladed saw like a tenon saw, and you should find that you get a nice cut end which is straight and true. Again, just take a file, take off the rough edges. Right, you have to mark off where you're going to drill the holes. The holes go through both the collar and the pipe. They're drilled with the collar fixed in position. To get them reasonably accurately spaced, the method I used is to wrap some masking tape around the collar and mark where the ends meet. Spread it out, divide the length into 3, because I'm using 3 bolts, and then mark those, replace the masking tape on the collar, and then I can mark off where I want to put the bolts reasonably accurately. Tape, the circumference of the collar was 370mm, and I've divided it into 323mm for the spacing between each bolt. I'll put this tape back on the collar, put the collar onto the pipe, end of the pipe, and then I'll drill through both. When you're drilling through plastic material, particularly curved plastic material, it's very easy for the drill bit to slip. To prevent that, I put a double layer of masking tape on the end, and this prevents that. It means you get a nice neat hole, the drill doesn't slip, damaging the pipe, or even worse, going through your foot. So there you can see a nice neat hole, no damage to the pipe, no slippage, and even better, no damage to me. So drill all the holes that you require. You'll need holes to fit the collars to the pipe, and you'll need holes to fit the end caps to the collars. And I'll now assemble the collars and the end caps and show you the